Creating a huge cinematic universe ain't like dusting crops, kid. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Star Wars mistakes you might have missed.
You said you want to be around when I made a mistake. Well, this could be it, sweetheart.
I take it back.
For this list, we're counting down the mistakes from the Star Wars saga that you might not have noticed. These errors include spelling mistakes and just goofs by the actors and production team.
Got a problem here.
Eject!
I can hold it.
Pull on!
No, I'm all right.
Number 10. Han Solo mouths Leia's lines. Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back.
Captain, being held by you isn't quite enough to get me excited.
Being an actor takes a lot of focus. We get that. Good actors need to be able to properly play off of their co-stars' lines and act as if they're hearing them for the first time. After long hours and dozens or more takes, however, this can prove to be a lot more difficult than it sounds.
Let go, please.
Such was the case during this scene in Empire, when, after getting tossed around the cockpit, Han catches Leia. And as actress Carrie Fisher delivers her line, we can see Harrison Ford suddenly mouth her words as she says them.
Captain, being held by you isn't quite enough to get me excited.
Maybe he was just trying to convey how closely connected the two characters were?
Stop that.
Stop what?
Stop that. My hands are dirty.
My hands are dirty too. What are you afraid of?
Number 9. Lando's Indecisive Wardrobe. Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi.
I mean it. Take her. You need all the help you can get. She's the fastest ship in the fleet.
All right, old buddy.
Apparently, being the hero of the Battle of Tanab doesn't make you immune to continuity errors. Watch this scene where Lando Calrissian is wishing Han Solo luck before they each head off to the final battle against the Empire.
I got your promise. Not a scratch.
Would you get going, you pirate?
In one cut, Lando's clothes are on one way. In another cut, they've flipped. Flipping a frame is a common occurrence in the editing room. It helps with any compositional issues that might pop up, but it does leave us with these awkward wardrobe malfunctions.
Good luck. You too.
Number 8. Luke's ghostly image. Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope.
Luke! Luke! Luke!
Was Luke a ghost this whole time? Was it all just a dream? Not really. In movies, oftentimes, editors will use a single frame or still image as a background. That's what they did here as Uncle Owen looks for Luke, who's gone off to find that overweight glob of grease called R2-D2.
You know, that little droid's gonna cause me a lot of trouble.
Oh, he excels at that, sir.
However, there's a mistake. We can see the blurry figure of Luke in a doorway. Was Luke in two places at once? Nope, just a post-production mistake.
Have you seen Luke this morning?
Number 7. Luke's lips. Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back.
Let's see now. There you go.
When additional dialogue is needed for a scene, the common strategy is to add it in while the actor or actress is facing away from the camera, or when you can't see their face.
It just isn't fair. Oh, Biggs is right. I'm never gonna get out of here.
The special effects team from Industrial Light and Magic thought they could do better. In this scene, after Luke crashes on the planet Dagobah, he wonders aloud to himself if this Yoda person he was told about even exists. If you look closely, you can see that Luke's lips don't actually move. They just darken.
Let's see now. There you go.
Number 6. The Magic Coat. Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope.
Hey, what are you trying to push on us?
Things often disappear in the Star Wars universe. Alderaan, Obi-Wan, Yoda, also Luke's jacket. In this continuity error, which you might have missed, Luke is chatting with Obi-Wan about Anakin, the Force, lightsabers, and all the usual stuff like that.
Your father wanted you to have this when you were old enough, but your uncle wouldn't allow it.
In the background, we can clearly see Luke's jacket hung up on the wall, but watch this next cut. It's gone.
This is the weapon of a Jedi Knight. Not as clumsy or random as a blaster.
Was it stolen by Jawas? Or was a member of the production crew just cold on that day of filming? We're going with Jawas. Number 5. Lightsaber Wire. Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. The lightsaber is the elegant weapon of a Jedi Knight. Not as clumsy or random as a blaster, but apparently they're not sophisticated enough to be battery-powered. In this famous scene where Darth Vader confronts his former master Obi-Wan Kenobi aboard the Death Star, the two face off in an epic lightsaber duel. Look closely. See that wire? Do lightsabers charge via USB port? Or do they need a dongle for that? Number 4. Stormtrooper bangs his head. Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope.
Take over. See to him.
This little goof was a classic that not many people noticed when the movie first came out, but it went pretty viral on the internet many years later. While our heroes are off rescuing Princess Leia from the detention center, a group of stormtroopers storms the communication room where R2 and 3PO are hiding. The door hasn't quite opened high enough for one of them to clear, and the poor trooper bangs his head. This gag was so notorious that in the re-release, Fox even added in a comical bonk sound to acknowledge the derpy trooper.
Take over. See to him.
Number 3. Tipsy AT-AT. Star Wars Episode 5: The Empire Strikes Back. The Battle of Hoth was an incredible achievement in special effects. Optical compositing had never been used so extensively in a white snowy setting before, and stop motion had never looked so amazing. But some things were still done the old-fashioned way. After Luke rappels up an Imperial walker and tosses a grenade into its guts, we can clearly see a stick poke out of the ground to give the mighty war machine a little push. Maybe this was Obi-Wan's Force Ghost giving the rebels a hand? Probably not. Number 2. Millennium Asteroid. Star Wars Episode 5: The Empire Strikes Back.
That wasn't a laser blast. Something hit us.
Han, get up here!
Stop-motion animation is a time-consuming and expensive process, so don't blame the filmmakers when they decide to slip in their unused shots. In order to escape the clutches of the evil Darth Vader, our heroes decide to defy the odds and enter an asteroid field.
Sir, the possibility of successfully navigating an asteroid field is approximately 3,720 to 1.
Never tell me the odds.
As giant space rocks whiz past the Falcon, you might have noticed a familiar shape. It's the Millennium Falcon, flying past the Millennium Falcon. In order to make the asteroid field seem more dense, the special effects wizards at ILM threw in an unused shot of the iconic spaceship, probably thinking we'd never notice. How naive. Number 1. Han, Bound and Unbound. Star Wars Episode 5: The Empire Strikes Back. One of the most iconic scenes in the entire Star Wars saga, Leia declares her love for Han Solo, with Han simply saying, "I know," in return. Then Chewbacca says something we can't understand. But there are a few small details here that might have gotten past you. For the entire scene up until the carbonite freezing, Han's hands are tightly bound in front of his body. When he comes back up out of the chamber, however, his hands are unbound, separated and outstretched. Hey, the Force works in mysterious ways, and apparently so does carbonite. Do you agree with our list? What mistakes did you notice in the Star Wars movies?
I don't know. Maybe I'm just going crazy.
For more amazing top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
We would be honored if you would join us.